Hello guys and welcome to the video. So today we're going to be talking about the Hall of Heroes Returns event. This event is going to be split up into two parts. One that we're going to get right now and one that we will be getting on June 16th that will last all the way till the 23rd of June. So what we're going to be talking about in this video is the first part of this event. So obviously this video is being split up into two different videos, which fair enough, right? Also, PSA, before we actually get into it, this is a game. You guys are free to pick whichever unit you want, whichever unit you think looks coolest. If you're like, hey, yo, Death Knight looks like the coolest one out of all of these, I'm going to pick him. By all means, Godspeed, you know. But I'm going to give you guys my opinion on which unit you should pick, and I'm going to go into detail into why. So, before we actually get into talking about any of these units, I want to talk about rarity. This is something you need to consider when it comes to picking these units. What is the likeliness of you getting any of these units today, right? And with the Neostone Agent, the Neostone Fighter, the Death Knight, and the Phantom Thief, you could theoretically get these today. I could go right now to the Summon Henge, summon one Mystical Scroll, and one of these 3 units can pop out. The same can't really be said for a Chakram Dancer or the Assassin. Those two are much more difficult to obtain because of their attribute. Light dark units are just generally more difficult to obtain as a player in general. Not even like free to play. I mean, free to play definitely, but like as a player in general, obtaining these units by ordinary means, aka summoning them, is much more difficult. So, with that being said, my answer is based off of the light darks. I will not be talking about the Neostone Fighter, the Death Knight, or the Phantom Thief because you can obtain these any day of the week. And in my opinion, it would really suck for me to suggest to you, oh, pick the Phantom Thief because he has stuns, and you use your Hall of Heroes, and then boom, tomorrow you use a Mystical Scroll and get the Phantom Thief again. You get a copy, you get a dupe. When again, if I tell you, hey, choose the Dark Assassin, Isabel, you're not going to... The chances of you getting a dupe of her are so low. It's just much more difficult to obtain these units. So that's being taken into consideration. So the only 2 units we're going to be talking about in this video is the Chakram Dancer and the Assassin. So Diva or Isabel. Which one of these should you pick? We're going to find out now, I guess. Let's go to the skills. So to solve this answer, we're here at the skill screen, and we're going to look at both units. Now, I've already taken a look at both units, but I want to go over the skills with you guys, so you guys have a complete understanding of why I'm choosing the unit I'm choosing. So we're going to go over both of them, and I will give you my answer at the end. So first off is Diva, the Light Chakram Dancer. She has okay stats. Her stats are okay. She has a dungeon speed lead. This is obviously an amazing leader skill. Speed leads are really, really good no matter where you are. It is just dungeons, but there are going to be a lot of places you can use her in general anyways. When you think about just the twins in general, you're using a majority of the twins in places like TOA or in Kairos Dungeon or in Rift Beasts anyways. So this is a very helpful leader skill. Speed lead is very, very helpful. So her first skill attacks an enemy 2 times to inflict damage that increases as the enemy's HP decreases. Additionally, if there's a Boomerang Warrior included in the ally team, one of the Chakram Dancers will attack together with the Boomerang Warrior during the Boomerang Warrior's turn, and vice versa. So, multi-hit first skill that deals more damage the lower the enemy's HP is. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Her second skill attacks all enemies with chakrams 2 times and stuns them for 1 turn with a 30% chance each. You could use this every 3 turns, and the harmful effect rate goes up when fully skilled up. I like that second skill. It's an AoE stun. It's an AoE multi-hit stun. Even if the chances aren't too massive, it's still a stun. It's still crowd control. So she does damage. She has crowd control. Let's look at her final skill, or her passive. So her passive inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn with a 50% chance, and additional damage She deals additional damage that's proportionate to the enemy's max HP with every attack. Boomerang Warrior's attacks will also inflict additional damage that's proportionate to the enemy's max HP when they attack together. That I can't, honest to God, I would have to have a face cam, and I'm not putting on a face cam, but I would have to have a face cam to show you guys just my facial expression when I read that the first time, when I saw this girl for the first time, right? That is such a good passive. I'm talking about that is an amazing passive. Remember where you're using her. You're using her in dungeons, TOA, Rift Beast, Necropolis. All these bosses that you're going to be facing against have high HP. So she's dealing great damage, and she has crowd control. But not only that, the Boomerang Warriors that she's going to attack along with will also benefit from this. So if I have a Boomerang Warrior and they attack and she happens to attack along, they're both going to do big damage. No matter what. Like, this is a really phenomenal third skill or passive. So I really love this. She has a dungeon speed lead. She has AoE crowd control, multi-hits, and does damage based off of enemy's max HP, which the Boomerang Warriors benefit from. It's all around, it's good. I'm going to give her a rating of like 9 out of 10. At the very least, 9 out of 10 for a Hall of Heroes unit, or at least for her. For out of the units you're going to be picking, she's a 9 out of 10 so far. Let's go to the Dark Assassin, Isabel, and see how she compares to Diva. So next up is Isabel. One thing straight off the bat that I'm noticing is she does have a higher attack stat than Diva, which is really, it's good. I mean, obviously an assassin should have really high attack, so I'm glad that she has a higher attack stat. Not only that, she has a universal speed lead, so you can use her speed lead anywhere, which is good. She's not just limited to dungeons like Diva is, so that's, again, definitely a plus. It is only 19%, but a speed lead is a speed lead, no matter what. If it was like 9% or 5%, oh yeah, I would have been like, that's garbage. It's no point. But speed lead. Let's look at her first skill, her second skill, and her third skill. So, first skill, attacks the enemy and looks for its weaknesses. This attack decreases the enemy's defense for 2 turns with a 50% chance. The harmful effect rate goes up when fully skilled up. So defense break on skill 1 is pretty good. Skill 2 increases your attack power and critical rate for 2 turns. Instantly grants you another turn every 3 turns. So the way you can build this unit, you could build it on attack and crit damage, and you don't have to worry too much about the crit rate because you'll give herself a crit rate buff. So that's really good. So you're going to be able to give her a lot of damage with her already good attack stat. That's good. And you're going to have it on a majority of the time. She deals damage to the enemy and recovers a turn if the enemy dies. While this skill is on cooldown, all damage you deal is increased by 50%, and endless death will instantly be reusable again if an enemy or an ally dies every 4 turns. So that's third skill has a lot to unpack. The first part of her skill mentions that if she does successfully defeat an enemy, she will gain another turn. One thing that I've noticed especially like as I play this game, is that if an enemy dies and then they revive, I don't think this procs, right? I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about that. But if she kills an enemy, she will get another turn, and then she can go into her first skill, and she'll deal 50% increased damage thanks to this third skill. So she can, the way you would combo her is you enter the battle, you use this second skill, do this skill, third skill, and then if you do kill the enemy, go into this first skill. But if you don't manage to kill the enemy, and you do kill with this skill, and then you do kill them with this one, this will instantly refresh the cooldown of this skill. So instead of having to wait the full 4 turns, if you decide to finish off enemies using Isabel, then she will refresh the cooldown of this and be able to use this instantly, which is good. And the good thing is, this third skill really complements itself really well, if you know what I'm trying to say. So if you somehow don't manage to kill the enemy, her first skill does increase damage. So the likeliness of her finishing off the enemy is high with her first skill. And then if she does kill the enemy, the skill automatically refreshes. So this third skill is really, really good. Isabel's an amazing unit, in my opinion. I think out of the Chakram Dancer and Isabel, they're both amazing units. I want to get that out the way really quickly. But when you read both of their skills and you look at both of them, they're both used in different places. Diva you're using in dungeons, Isabel you're using in guild content. You're not using Isabel in dungeons. I mean, you can. You probably could do it successfully, but Diva is better in dungeons, while Isabel is better in guild content. And I wonder if people agree with that. Let's look at the usage. Guild Battle. World Guild Battle, Siege, Arena, Rift of Worlds, I guess. Scenario. It's very odd. Trial of Ascension. Why? Whatever. Again, she's a really good unit, but they're both used in different places. They're both good units. I'm going to give Isabel an 8.5 out of 10. She's definitely a good nuker, amazing for guild content. So at the end of the day, the answer to your question is really dependent on where are you at in the game. What do you need? Do you need another unit to help you clear dungeons better, or are you looking for a guild content monster? Are you looking for something to help you in places like Arena and guild battles, or Guild War or Siege or whatever? Or are you looking for better Rift Beast time, or a Necro team or whatever? Your answer really changes what the answer is. Like, whoever you need it's really dependent. So if you need a guild content monster, Isabel's the one you should choose. If you want a dungeon unit, like for Necro or Rift Beast or TOA, for sure go with Diva. In my opinion, if you're like, just tell us what your answer is, I'm going with Diva. Diva is, gosh, where is she? She's just good. She's just amazing. I mean, that passive is just phenomenal. Inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn with a 50% chance and deals additional damage that's proportionate to the enemy's max HP with every attack. And the Boomerang Warrior benefits off of this. This passive is so good. I don't know how to express it to you guys enough. My opinion, go for Diva. If you're thinking about, I don't really care which one I get, I want to get one of the two, then go with Diva. If you want a guild content monster that's going to help you with Guild Wars and Siege, go with Isabel. If you want a unit for everything else, go with Diva. And you could probably even use Diva in guild content as well. I mean, most people do use twins in guild content. But in my opinion, go with Diva. That's my final answer. I wonder what people's opinions are on her. Okay. Her passive makes her good for dungeons. Yep. She's my favorite. Talia is better against a single target, but Diva is flexible. She could hit pretty, I'm assuming they're going to say pretty well, and leaves a poison behind, or dots. Definitely better than Shanna, and also does decent damage against bosses because of her additional enemies max HP damage. Diva, like a real stripper. She hits hard. Awesome daughter. I got her, ruined her up for crit rate and crit damage, but if you ruin her right, overall attack does hella dots. Yeah, because she has passive dots. You got to remember that. The goat of the chakra. Statistics, or no, not her statistics. We already know you're building her attack, crit damage, attack. So the Kairos, Dungeon, Rift of Worlds, like I was mentioning. Arena, Guild War. Necropolis, like I mentioned. Hall of Magic, Hall of Wind, Rift of Worlds again, Trial of Ascension. So if you really need a monster for PvE, Diva. Guild content, Isabel. Overall though, go Diva. That's going to be the end of the video. I'm not going to drag it out anymore. I hope you guys get to choose. Or I hope I've answered your question. If not, then I'm sorry. Kick rocks. I'm joking. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.